Okay, so we're going to pretend that I made that other blue one that we were started on to this size. I want to show you how to just continue on with this, and then we're going to transition up the sides. Now, I am not going to be as liberal with adding extra stitches on this last row. I'm going to maybe push things just a tad more because I like it to be not as many stitches on the last row. It makes the sides go up a little straighter, makes the transition quicker for the walls to go up. So here you can see that I'm really just focused, as long as it doesn't start cupping, really, and it usually won't quickly start cupping. So I'm just continuing on with the same thing I showed you. This is a thinner material. It's going to give it. Now, I'm going to do, I have decided already, I kind of experimented because what I wanted to, you know, be able to show. This is a wider material. I robbed this from another, and it's still going to be used. And I'm going to do it for the sides, and I have some other too that I'm going to use that's in this ball. That I'm going to change this. I wanted the bottom, I was trying something different. I'm always trying something different. Sometimes it works out great and I say, yay, I love what I did. And other times, not so much. And you'll find the same thing. You'll do certain things and think, that was a mistake. So you have to be willing to try some of these things. I used odds and ends. I ripped apart other projects that were ugly. I'm not convinced I love this, but I kind of do. I thought it'd be fun to do the bottom in wild, you know, the more scrappy look, which I do like. So this is what this is. And then I'm going to make the sides a little bit more conventional, little more subdued, thicker, so there'll be a wider side as opposed to this, be more closer to this kind of thing with a little bit heavier material. And I was going to do more neutral because I thought it'd be kind of cool that if you had a bottom of a basket that was wild, that then you went ahead and had the sides come up and be kind of not crazy. So if you had something in the middle, you wouldn't see it, but then when you remove the thing that's in the middle, it kind of just gives it a totally different look. We'll see if my theory works out in the end, and of course it's just a matter of opinion. Some of you will say, I love it, and some of you go, not so much. So some of you are very supportive of my work, and I really appreciate that, all the kind words that you share with me. So what I decided, I was going to stop right here and go to the thicker material, which you don't have to. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. So you know, you could just stick with the same amount of thickness as the other. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to go in the back bar, which achieves this look, and it shoots it up and not add any extra stitches. So here we were adding extra stitches as we went around, as we felt we needed them to keep the arch flowing so it didn't cup up. When you stop adding extra stitches, that's when the sides start to build. Basically, it's a huge cup that just doesn't stop cupping. But if you end up going in the back bar, which I'm going to show you on this one, you're going to have almost like, here's the bottom. That's where the bottom ends. As opposed to here, we just stopped adding extra stitches. You don't see that look. There's nothing wrong with that look, and I like that look just fine, but I wanted to show the difference of how that's achieved. So you're going to go in the back bar. I decided to do it right here where this color is, and see, this is where you would have continued to go. These holes right here, if you were continuing on to make it bigger. But what you're going to do now, just for one go around, is go into the back bar, right there. Okay, so you're going to go into that hole, do the same exact stitch. It's a single crochet, but you're just using that. Grab your material, cross over, and pull it off. At this point, once I've done one, I flip it over. Okay. And now, instead of it's the back bar, it's really the top bar. And I just work it like this, only grabbing the top bar. Now, you're going to say, wait, I didn't see that. Okay, I'm going to show you. Okay, so this would have been the hole that you're going into. What you're only going to be now doing, see, you would have both of those pieces of material. Now you're just going to grab this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, all the way around. Okay, and so you're going to start building up the wall here. So you're going to be doing that, and then just one time around. So you're going to go in, still single crochet. Nothing has changed, it's just where you're going, and now you're building up your wall. It looks like you pull it out a little bit. This concerns me every time because, let me show you, Still, it's just the same single crochet for the first time around. See how this kind of starts pulling? It fixes itself. And sometimes it's very obvious, like here, but as you go along, it kind of closes up. You can already see how instead of seeing two, you're just seeing this one little thing. Okay, so I'm going to try to quickly go around here, because once you go around once, then you're going to do something different for the second row. So I'm going to try to fairly quickly go around. You can fast forward if you need to. Some of you want to watch so you know what you're doing. See, that's fine. These are fun projects. These are fun gifts to give people. So even like if you like to give people and also to sell to people if that's your goal. I don't do much of that, but if that's your goal, is these are things that maybe rugs aren't going to work for someone for some reason. They just don't have a house that's conducive to it. Or if you don't know what to give someone, you don't know what's in their home. This is a way. Now see here, I don't like this. I'm going to show you this. So this is a great thing. I don't like, that's going to be crowding this and it's going to flare out too much. I'm skipping it. Yes, skipping it. Can you believe it? I'm going to skip it because it's crowding it. And you're never going to know I skipped it. But it was crowding it too much and it's going to make it flare too much. That is something else that you can do, which is awesome that you got to see that. Those of you who fast forward missed that. But you won't know that you missed it. Cracks me up, some of the stuff people say. They ask me questions and I'm thinking, did you even watch my video? I talk about it in great length. So please watch my videos and thoroughly before you ask me questions, because I try so very hard to help you achieve a nice rug or basket, and by giving you all the information. See, that is ugly. Look at that thing there. I'm going to hide that. Oh, look at that. I hid it. Now, because this is fatter, again, I'm crowding that next stitch. Here's your next stitch. I'm skipping it again. Look at that. Skipping it. Can you imagine that? Adapting. You have to be willing to adapt. There's not an exact formula for this stuff. It's not a crochet pattern that just, see, I'm going to have to skip again. Now look I'm going to have to skip again, but I don't want to, I want to skip that one. I don't want to skip this one. The reason why, there's some ugliness going on there. So I'm going to skip there. I'm going to skip over to here. Now normally, if I had stayed with the same material size, you wouldn't have to skip like this, or almost never skip. But because this material is so fat and pushing itself onto the next one, I'm having to skip. So this is a perfect way. Now I just adapt as I go, where some of you, struggle with that a little bit more. So it's great that you're seeing me adapt as I go, so maybe you'll be more willing. What happens if what you did doesn't work? See, I'm going to skip again. No, one more. What happens if what you did didn't work? Oh my, you'd have to rip it out. You'd have to rip it out and try again. You can do that. I have faith in you. I hope I don't sound like I'm being sarcastic. I'm really not trying to be sarcastic. I'm trying to be encouraging, and I'm sorry if that's the way it sounds. I want to be encouraging for you to try and branch out, because you will find all kinds of things that work so amazing for you, and that you can do all kinds of creativity that you did not know. And sometimes we say we're not very creative. I have to just follow the pattern. Creativity sometimes requires you just to push yourself just a little bit, and then you'll find that you maybe are way more creative than you ever thought you were. And that is such a fun thing, to explore your own creativity. So I encourage you to branch out, and people will write me and say, I found this, or I do that. And sometimes I do those things and don't even write them because they are too complicated. Things that I discovered. Now I'm going to skip again. Let's see, I may have to pull this out. I may be too much skipping. So I'm going to go on a couple stitches and then assess it again. Okay. Do another one and see what I think. I think we're doing okay. Yeah, see? And just straight. Yeah, it's got that nice straight thing. Again, skipping. I'm skipping again because this is really thick material. Now, if say you thought you skipped too much on this, so the next one you just don't do it quite so readily. You get to achieve the look that's good for you. I love when you share with me and you'll put on, you know, send me a picture in an email, and then I can post it to Facebook and share the things that you've done, and the creativity you've shown is so exciting to me. I just love it. And some of you are so generous with sharing your stuff, and I just think it's fabulous. So we're getting close. Now this is thinner material, so I'm probably not going to be skipping much here, if any, because this is thinner than that. Thinner in width and in thickness of the material itself. I'm getting close. You can see that color is coming where I stopped at the pink and I went to the other, and I want to get you over there and show you this part where you're going to stop going in the back bar and you're going to go back to using the hole in between. We are close. I don't normally film quite this long, a repetition like this, but hopefully I haven't lost your attention, and if I am, please forgive me. I appreciate your patience. Some people really want to see it like that, and some of you don't. All right, here we are. We're getting ready to finish this first one of just going in that part, which is going to be right there. Let me see. I don't think I'm going to, I think I'm going to go back to the regular stitch now. Okay, so here, see that ridge? That's what you achieved, this ridge. Okay, pretty. Now, this is how we do the rest of the rounds. You go into the, grab both of them, okay? So you're going to grab both of them like that. Still doing a single crochet, but grabbing both of them. You're going to continue this all the way around. You probably should not have to skip any stitches at this point. Okay, so this is how you do it all the way around, and then I will show you how to end your basket. Thank you. Okay, so here we are. We've built up the sides, and I like the way it came out in general. I talked about how I was going to do a crazy bottom on this one as opposed to these neutral bottoms and things like that, and do a neutral side, and it worked out really well when I showed you how we skipped some stitches because it was so thick and because there were so many at the bottom. And you can see I didn't skip any more. I'm letting you know I didn't skip any more as I went up other than that first round, and it did just perfect, and I was really, really happy with it. And we got nice straight sides and whatnot. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do another stitch or two, just like so you can see how I finish it. So you're going to go in just like I left you last, and we're going to do a single crochet, and see this is getting to the end where I'm about want it. I don't think I want it much shorter than that. So what we can do now is here you've finished a stitch. Okay, what I do is I pull out the loop. I'm leaving it there just so you can see what I did. Okay, so there you go. And then I pull it down like that. See if you look, see how you can see that? Okay. That's one of the ways you can do it. Okay. Sometimes, well, you know what? Sometimes I do this. Wait. And I think I will because I think it's too much of a drop down. So here, let me pull that last stitch out and do it again and show you what I do. Okay, instead of doing that, that's one way to do it, and that works just fine. And I do it that way most of the time, but it seems like it's more of a drop down. So I'm going to put the stitch back in, Okay, I'm looking at how long. I'm going to do one more stitch. And then I'm going to do a slip stitch, which is just pull it out like that. And pull the back bar off. Don't cross over again. Okay, and then I'm going to pull it out. Now that's already stepping down instead of making it so much. I do that on a rug too, and then do it like this. If this was a thicker material, that would be less noticeable, but it's a little noticeable there. Okay, don't fret. I'm not going to fret. Hopefully you won't. Okay, so then you're going to use the tapestry needle. And you know, I didn't really talk about this, what I use. I have a good pair of scissors, which we're going to use in this too. You have a tapestry needle or a yarn needle. It needs to be metal. Plastic just breaks. And it has this nice big hole. This is a number 13. You can also do a 16. It's not quite as big, but I like the 13 if you can find it, but you can't always find it. So in case you can't, really inexpensive. You buy them 2 at a time usually, and whatnot. So you go ahead and do it. What we're going to do is we're going to finish it off. I don't knot it at all, but when you're finishing off a rug or a basket or whatever, go in the direction that you're working with first. And then now, if you saw my other videos on how to finish things, I just did that. But now someone made a great suggestion. I teach this in a class, and I now do this as well, as I then feed it back through to lock it in a little bit more secure. So what I usually do with a basket, and there's different ways you can do this, and try and experiment. I kind of loop it through. See how I kind of twisting it. See? I kind of go through the stitch beforehand. And I just kind of loop it through a few times, not a whole bunch. Don't pull it too tight because that will cinch it down all the more and then make it more obvious. So I just kind of loosely, see how I've done? You can do that several more times if you want. I guess I'll do it maybe one more time. And then I try to work it in. I cross over and I try to work it in, just kind of feeding it through, and it's still the direction I'm going and hiding this tail. Okay, there's different places you can go. Try different things. If you don't like the way it looks, just pull it out and try a little bit different till you find what makes you happy. And I change it up some. See, I was going to go back there because I want it to be hidden, but it keeps getting caught. So I just kind of continue to follow through. But follow, you know, people will stop here, but I want you to continue to watch a minute longer. Because you can see what then I do afterwards after I go the direction. This is a great way to finish a rug too. So you can do this on your rugs. And you kind of feed it through. I'm going to do it a little bit farther. Sometimes I do it pretty far. I don't want to, you know, have something. Now see, it starts getting where it's shorter. I just pull it out a little longer. So I have a little bit more thread. You're better off to waste a little bit at the end as opposed to do it too short. But sometimes we don't have a choice because we're running low on that color or whatnot. And so you kind of just have to do the best you can. Okay, is this going to get stuck? Great, it's going to get stuck. And you're going to, oh, nope, I got it. Okay, so now what you would do after you've gone a little distance, then what I do, so I can see it, we're going to turn the basket so I can see it a little bit better. Then I'm going to go back the opposite direction to lock it in. But I don't want to go right back through there because what happens is when you go back, you're just undoing it. So I'm going to find a place down here. And again, you don't want to pull it too tight because then it will ruin the stitches that you've got. So I'm just going to find some way to get it in, and I'm going to go back the other direction. So we were going this way, now we're going that way. See how I don't want to pull it too tight? See, so it kind of hides it. And then a lot of times, see, now I'm working with a different color. This is a different color. Sometimes if I can go back up into that color where I was, I feel like it will be less noticeable. Again, it's not really important, but these are little tips that I suggest to you. So if you can achieve it, then you can. But these are things that I learn along the way. There's no exact way to do any of this. People have lots of great ways of doing these things. These are just things that I learn. And as I learn more things, I share more things because I'm not a guru. Like some of you will write to me and think I'm your rag guru, and that's very kind and generous of you to say. However, I'm just a person like you, and I'm trying to just help you learn how to do this with my achievements and failures because I didn't have anyone to teach me. So I had to kind of figure it out, and I'm trying to help you have an advantage here by having someone teach you. All right, so here we go. Getting close to the end, and I've decided that's probably about enough. Let me see. I don't like there's a pretty big distance there. If I'm going to want to finish it there or not, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to finish it maybe underneath this one because it's closer. So when I finish it, again, see, I'm kind of making sure it's not too tight. What I do to finish it, and I do this with a rug too. See, there you have, now I'm going to pull it just a little tighter for a moment, a little tighter. Get your scissors in close, but don't grab anything else and cut something else. You're going to cut it, and see, there's the little stub, and if it was more noticeable, now it's not. It's as simple as that. So here's your finished basket. These don't have handles. I may have to do a video with handles. We'll see how to do handles. But, and I also have the video that shows how to crochet over rope that makes it really rigid. So you may want to watch that video, which is super fun to do. So you may want to watch that too. And over my 100 videos that I also have. So subscribe, come back and join me again. And I appreciate your likes and comments. You have a good day.